Congratulations for finishing lecture 7. Lecture 7 is pretty informative, and how did you do on the quiz? Now we are going to be checking the answer. So the answer for the first question is true because once coordination is taking place, you are able to ensure efficiency if it is done successfully, because then you have a systematic, smooth flow of goods and services and distribution as well. It can also help you to increase your responsiveness, because then you are able to kind of maintain better relationship with your other participants in the supply chain. And also you are able to make changes pretty fast and get response pretty fast as well. So you are able to maintain a bit more flexible, have a bit more flexibility to react to the market uncertainties. And for the second question, the answer is pretty obvious, question C, because I don't know how to make a misleading answer for you to actually find this question difficult, because it's so that's why I put question C, put the C option. The C option is pretty obvious, because when you want to cooperate and coordinate with the supplier, your goal is to increase your sales and maintain good relationship with your supplier, maybe give some incentive in order to work effectively and get your profits. And your goal is not to squeeze and earn profits from your supplier. Okay, you are trying to get some benefits from coordination, but you are not going to try to squeeze suppliers' margin, suppliers' profit. Okay, so question 3, the answer is pretty obvious, and please look at this sentence right here, because this sentence is actually the standard definition of a bullwhip effect. Because in my video I was a bit wordy. I think I didn't explain it pretty well, because I was doing speaking. I didn't really look at the definition when I was teaching. So please memorize this sentence here. I think the sentence explains pretty well. And remember, distortion basically means the loss of a truth. This means you are actually not getting true information, as what I talked when we were going through the bullwhip effect. So the distortion is growing exponentially. Exponential is like a power. So it's a square, cube, power fourth, power fifth. Because since there's uncertainty and there's psychological and physical distances, sometimes you get this misleading information on how much inventories are you going to hold. For question 4, the answer is I didn't talk about this in the video. I didn't really teach the formula, but I don't think there's necessary to teach, because this formula doesn't help you to apply anything in your supply chain, because it just basically tells you when your information quality decreases, your uncertainty increases. So this question is just an info question to test whether you guys understand the concept of information quality effect on uncertainty. Okay, so question 5, the answer is answer is E, because when there's uncertainty, business tend to increase in inventory. However, this question is a bit objective. Sorry for that. So you can actually ignore this question, because some businesses increase inventory level when there's uncertainty, because they're not sure whether people will buy or not. Maybe there will be high demand. But for other businesses, when they have a higher uncertainty, when they are not receiving high quality information, or when they are not able to generate forecast, they actually decrease inventory. So this question, if you choose D, you can also say you got it correct, because this is not really a kind of objective question. It is quite subjective and depending on your company. Okay. But question 6 is pretty objective, right? So the answer is VMI. So you can get the clue from the second question, because from the second line, because it talks about supplier is managing the inventory at the customer's premise. So premise is actually the warehouse of the customer. In question 7, the answer is decreasing inventory cost, because here you're asking about the vendor's advantage. But however, I want to clear a doubt that even for the customer, decreasing inventory cost is not an advantage. I was also a bit confusing when I was first learning about inventory management, because I believe that when you have someone managing for you, you are decreasing the cost. But actually, it is a zero-sum game, because if you are not managing inventory yourself and you're asking someone else to manage your inventory, you have to pay them money. So in the end, you are kind of spending the same amount of money, I think. So decreasing inventory cost, it may increase but not decrease. So it must not be an advantage both for the vendor and both for the supplier. So the answer is A. For question 8, it's pretty obvious. The answer is E. When it is we went through postponement in our last part in lecture 7. Okay, so that's pretty much about the quiz. How did you do? Did you got all correct? If you have any concerns, you can comment below to ask me any questions. If you are still pretty unsure about some concept as a whole, you are still kind of messy and hesitating in your mind, please go back. Please check the lectures again. You can turn up the speed or decrease the speed. So if you have less time, you can increase the speed. But I think I'm a pretty fast talker. So you can look back at the lectures if you have any queries, or if you don't understand this as a whole. But if you have some small question, or you want to have some discussions with me, please check in the comment section below. I'm more than welcome to answer your queries. So I'll see you in our last lecture, lecture 8, in next week.